we're back. Okay. Next chapter is called Bad Guys. Most of the day I doze. Late in the afternoon, Mac approaches me. Bob slips under, not tag. He prefers to keep a low profile around Mac. I'm gonna pause you right there for a moment, and I want you to kind of think about what that means. Like, keeping a low profile around Mac. You're going to use some inferencing to think about the way, obviously, Bob is a stray. He doesn't belong in the Big Top mall because he doesn't provide any type of money or anything of value to Mac. And we know Mac is somebody who's like, hey, must be the money. He's only caring about the money. And so really, Bob prefers to keep a low profile. And when you think about that, it means he's kind of like, it doesn't mean he's like, low profile, let me go. It's kind of like it means that he really just kind of like doesn't want Mac to know that he's there. He's going to just not bother Mac. He's going to stay out of his way because right now, Bob does. He sleeps on Ivan's belly at night. Well, not Tag at the moment. He eats scraps, and it's kind of the way he lives. So he's just like, I ain't gonna mess with Mac, and he's gonna let me live here. So he's keeping a low profile. Mac's gaze falls on my pool. A corner of my painting is visible. What's that, big guy? He asks. I calmly eat my orange, ignoring him, but my heart is racing. Why do you think it's racing? Do you think that Ivan wants Mac to know what he's doing? Probably not. Mac kicks at my plastic pool, and underneath it are all my paintings. Mac yanks on a piece of paper. It slips out easily, and he doesn't seem to notice the other paintings. The page is striped with green, which is what happens when blue paint and yellow paint get together. It's supposed to be a patch of grass. Not bad. Where'd you get that paint anyway? George's kid? He considers. I bet you I can get $30 for this picture, maybe even $40. Mac turns on my TV and it's a Western. There's a human with a big hat and a small gun. He has a shiny star pinned to his chest. That means he's the sheriff, and he'll be getting rid of all the bad guys. Yo, if this sells quick, I'm gonna get you some more of that paint, buddy, Mac says. Do you see? And I want to talk about how things build on, how the stories build on. We've talked about that. One thing leads to another, and you can kind of tell that in Mac's head, he's like, yo, if I can get money for this, I'm gonna get you more paint. But I bet you Ivan is like, you know what? The more I do this for you, the more supplies I can get, and then I can make paintings that are gonna probably help me do something. Think about that. He walks away with my painting, Ruby's painting, and for a moment, I imagine what it would feel like to be the sheriff. So Ivan's kind of thinking to himself, man, if I could just get rid of all the bad guys like a sheriff, what do you think he would do? I think he would bust up out of there. The next chapter is page 184, and it is called add. And we have a word coming up, incompetent, and we're gonna think about that word. Good news, huh? Bob says when Mac's out of his earshot. Looks like you might be getting some more supplies. I don't want to paint for Mac, I say. I'm painting for Ruby. You can do both, Bob says. You're an artist after all. While I watch the movie, I try to come up with a new hiding place for my paintings. Maybe I think I could fold them once they're dry, and I could stuff them into not tag. It's a long movie, and at the end, the sheriff marries the woman who owns the salon, which is a watering hole for humans, but not horses. It's been a long time since I've seen a Western that was also a romance. Oh, I like that movie, says Bob. Or, I'm sorry. I liked that movie, I say to Bob. Too many horses, not enough dogs, Bob says. Another ad comes on. I don't understand ads. I'm going to pause right now. So he's referring to an ad on the TV as a commercial. I don't understand ads. They're not like Westerns where you know who the bad guy is supposed to be, and they're hardly ever romantic unless there's a man and the woman are brushing their teeth before they face lick. I watch an ad for an underarm deodorant. How do you know who's who if they don't smell? I ask Bob, because animals do that. Humans reek, Bob replies. They just don't notice because they have incompetent noses. And I want you to think about that word and the way it is used. If you think about an animal, they're able to kind of tell. They use their old sniffer to kind of greet each other in order to kind of talk to each other. Well, not talk, but like, yo, how you doing? But he's saying that humans have incompetent noses. And Bob feels like humans reek. And he doesn't like the way they smell because Bob has a bad or kind of not such a great perspective about humans, and such that he thinks that they're all just kind of like Mac. They reek. They don't know that they reek because their noses don't work, because maybe they're not looking at the right things to notice, but they're just kind of like, they all smell bad to him because of the way they've acted to these animals. Another ad comes on and I see children and their parents buying tickets, just like the tickets that Max sells. They laugh, they enjoy their ice cream cones as they walk down a path. I wonder where they are. They pause to watch two sleepy-eyed cats, which are huge and striped, and they're dozing in long grass. Tigers. I know because I saw them on a nature show once. Words flash on the screen accompanied by a drawing of a red giraffe. The giraffe vanishes and I see a human family staring at another kind of animal. Elephants, old and young. They're surrounded by rocks and trees and grass, and they roam and wander together. It's a wild cage. Where do you guys think they are? It's a zoo. I see where it begins and I see where it ends, and the wall that says you are this and we are that and this is how it will